What's going on, guys? It is Rachel here, back again with another awesome video for you all. Welcome back to the Maker's Gonna Learn YouTube channel. I hope that you all are having a great day. Today we're going to be talking about some really fun vinyl projects for beginners. Now, if you do not know who we are or what we do, first of all, I just want to welcome you over to the channel. If this is your first video, make sure that you click the subscribe button and like this video if you enjoy our content, and make sure that you go browse around our YouTube channel and see what all there is to see. We post videos all the time over there, and we have so much crafty fun on our channel. We hope that you all are inspired by these videos. If you are, we urge you to click the very first link in the description below to see how you guys can become a member of makersgonnalearn.com and receive access to over 4,000 digital cut files, 400 fonts, amazing printable guides, member-only Facebook groups, and so much more. Now, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get crafting today. So this is a great video if you are a beginner or you have just gotten your Cricut. Now, we do have a video that I will link in the description below all about a beginner's guide to using Cricut vinyl. So this video, we will be cutting and showing how to weed and apply this vinyl. However, it is not so in-depth as that video is. So if you are a brand spanking new beginner when it comes to adhesive vinyl, go ahead and watch that video down below first, and then you'll be more equipped and well equipped to be able to follow this tutorial and make three really fun, super easy vinyl projects for beginners. So today we are actually going to be applying vinyl on paper, making a card today. We're going to be applying vinyl on a stained wood sign and a mug. I wanted to do three different surfaces with different textures and different feels to make sure that you guys felt comfortable and well-rounded when mastering applying vinyl to things. So I thought a mug, paper, and a wood sign would be a perfect combination of things to get your guys' feet wet and get your toes in there and make sure that you all are comfortable using this product in a lot of different ways. The vinyl that we are going to be using today is StarCraft Permanent Adhesive. That is just the brand name. I will link it down below if you guys want to use the same exact that we're using. I actually think one of these is Oracal 651 because let me tell you, we are going to be using scraps today. So I also want to urge you guys, if you have been crafting for a while or if you're brand new, to think about maybe using some scraps that you might have accumulated. If not, it's totally fine. Use the big rolls of fresh adhesive vinyl that you have, the new rolls. But if you are able to use scraps, please do. That's what we're going to be using today. So along with our vinyl and our blanks, which is a card, which is an A2 size card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 when folded. We just have a very basic mug here. Super simple. You can buy them at Walmart. This probably was under $2. And this is a piece of wood that I think actually we just cut. And I just stained it. It looked like that beforehand, and I just stained it using Minwax Early American Stain. If you guys are interested in the stain or any of that, you can click the link down below and go get you some. Along with that, we do have a 12 by 24 inch mat today. Now, the only project we will need this mat for is for our wood sign, because it is longer than 12 inches and we don't want to limit ourselves with this sign. So you can use your 12 by 24 mat, or if you don't have one yet, if you're just a beginner, that's totally fine. Feel free to just make this project 11.5 inches. It will look just fine if it's 11.5 inches, but we wanted to make it fit this project a little bit more, which is why we're doing that. So along with our 12 by 24 mat, our blank items, and our vinyl, you're also going to need some transfer tape. Now, most adhesive vinyl projects do require transfer tape, especially if there's letters or details or a lot of things going on in your design. So we will be using masking paper transfer tape with all of our designs today. This is great stuff. You get 100 feet of it by 6 inches, and it's a steel. Now, the reason we're using this today is because this transfer tape is not as sticky or harsh as Cricut brand transfer tape. Now, one thing I do want to say is you can reuse Cricut brand transfer tape because it is more sticky and a little more durable. You can reuse that if you want to. But since we're using masking paper transfer tape, we are going to be using it just one time and then tossing it in the garbage for us. And also, the reason why we need this for today is because we're applying vinyl onto paper. You really want to be careful because paper is very delicate. it. This is not a super thick type of cardstock. This is probably 60-pound cardstock, and I do not want to rip any of our paper off or anything like that, especially if we've already written the sentiment inside of it. That means we really don't have any time to waste. We really don't have any material we want to, you know, ruin or anything. So this is very gentle transfer tape, which is a big plus. That means it will go on flawlessly with our paper. We can even stick this to our shirt a couple of times to get even more of the sticky off if you're worried about it, but it has always done perfectly and being very gentle with our paper. However, just because it's easy for paper to go on does not mean it's impractical to use on wood or the mug. I will be using this on all the projects today. We probably use this on 95% of the projects that we make at Makers Gonna Learn. So that is saying something about a product when we use it so often. Along with that, we have our pump bottle with our alcohol in it. Again, this is a big part of what we use at Makers Gonna Learn. If you don't know about this, you can check out some of our hack videos. I'll link some of those down below. And again, I do mention this in a bit more detail in our beginner course for adhesive vinyl. So that video is down below as well. Again, if you're a brand spanking new vinyl user, watch that video first. So we have this alcohol pump bottle and some paper towels here because we will be cleaning off our surfaces today, at least the mug and probably the wood. And I'll explain why a little bit later. So we do have paper towels in that handy. And then here in this cup, we just have all of the Cricut tools that we usually grab in a day. So the ones that we're using today will probably just be our burnishing tool here, a Cricut True Control knife or an X-Acto knife, and the Cricut weeder tool. That's probably the only three that we're going to be using today, along with the scissors to cut our transfer tape, but that's about it. So you really don't need a lot of tools for today's project, and they're all super easy. They're all really beginner friendly. So we're going to go ahead and go into Design Space, and I'm going to share with you the cut files and fonts that we've used for today's project, how I went about sizing those, tips to how you can size them yourself really, really well, and then we'll get to cutting and applying this onto these three really awesome blanks. Alright guys, so here we are in Cricut Design Space. I know it looks like we have a lot going on, but please do not fear. We are going to be going through this project by project to make it as easy as we can for you all. So today we're going to be using two cut files and a font. The first one that I will show you is this welcome sign here. So this is how it will look completely finished. This is a square that we have created that is the exact length of this wood that we have stained here today. So how I did that is I just went over to our shapes and got us a square, and I went up here and unlocked our square, and the width we have 14.75, and then over here on the height we have 5 inches. And that's all that I did there. You can go up here and change the color if you want to, and that's exactly how I did that. So that's super easy and probably one of our best kept secrets to being able to get a really professional project when you're all said and done, because you can size it so well in Design Space, which is very hard to do when you're just kind of blindly measuring and hoping that it will be the size that you want. Here in Design Space, whenever you can, we urge you guys to place your dimensions in Design Space, whether you're using a frame or a card or even an oval or a circular item, whatever you can do to make sure that you will size this properly. So here is the cut file that we are using today. Welcome to our beginning. However, I do not want to our beginning in this. I just want this beautiful hand lettered welcome. So how I would do that is you can see down here at the bottom my contour option is available. So I'm just going to click contour here, and I can bring this in a little bit and just go through here and contour out all the pieces that I do not want, which is all of the bottom row here, all of these little letters. So you can contour these out really, really easily. I love the contour feature. I think that it's super handy for things like this, and it also allows you to be able to have different inspiration for different cut files. You don't have to feel limited as to what you can create. You can see this and know that, okay, well, I want to create this sign, but I don't want the bottom row in it. So you can go about things like this to contour, or you can slice it out to make sure that you can create the project you want to create with a file, even if you think you're limited with it. So once I contour contoured all of those out. All I have to do is bring this in. And whenever this happens, guys, it kind of goes behind my project. All you have to do is go up to arrange and send to front, and then there you go. So now, without even worrying about how long or how wide you make this, just go ahead and size it up to where you think it looks really, really good. And once you have that done, I'm gonna actually move this down because we have our welcome already sized up here as well. So I'll bring this in. Once you have that done, you can kind of see how you like it, if you want it to be, you know, positioned really well in the center here, or you can actually make it larger and end up cutting off the sides here to make it look like your words are starting from even outside the frame. If you want to go that route, you can do that, but we're just going to kind of, you know, size it in here and make sure we like it, make sure we think it's going to fit well on our finished project. We can even drag and select all of these layers and align center here if we wanted to, and that will just kind of lock that in the center of our project and say, okay, I love this, this looks really good, so we can go ahead and make that. But you do not want to make it with your background selected, your blank. So you can either hide that up here or you can delete it, whichever you would like to do. So we have our welcome already sized here the way that we want it, which ours came out to be a little over 14 inches wide and a little over 3 inches tall. So we actually also had a piece of scrap vinyl that is perfect for that size. So that is what we're going to be using with that today. And then here we have our Mama Bear cut file, and this is actually going to be for our mug. Now measure your mug to make sure that it's not larger than the standard mugs, but for the rule of thumb we have, if it's a standard mug, it doesn't need to be any wider than 3 inches. And when we get on the overhead camera, I can show you why that is, why we feel that way. But to make a long story short, we do not want to make this file distort in any way. We don't want it to look like it's curving over the mug too much to where you can't really read what it's saying or anything like that. So this cut file was a little bit smaller and a little bit squattier, and all we did was we unlocked it and we sized it to what we think that it looks good for our mug, which I sized it to 3 inches wide first and then thought, well, that looks cute, but it was like 1.88 inches high or something, and I thought, well, let me unlock it and make it just a little bit taller and then see how that looks. Now the problem with that is you want to do some trial and error here, because you don't want to make it too long, because if you make it long, you kind of can't really read Mama that well, and then if you make it too short, kind of the same thing, you cannot read Mama. So we wanted to keep it at 3 inches wide by 2.25 inches high. And we think that you can still read Mama, and this is going to fit really well onto our mug. So that is what we did for that one. And then this is a super easy one. We created a square again, the same size as an A2 size card, which that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And instead of showing you that again, I just duplicated that. And now we're going to go up to the text box, and we're going to use a font that we have. Now the font that we're going to be using today is called Lemon Drop. Now we love Lemon Drop. It is one of over 400 fonts that we have to date at Maker's Gonna Learn. And again, if you want access to these fonts and these cut files and thousands more, go ahead and become a member below. You will not regret it at all. And all of the fonts that you download from us will be in system fonts here in Design Space. So we are just going to search for Lemon Drop, and right there it is. And here is how we're going to create our text today. We are going to type out thanks and then hit enter. We're going to type out for all, enter, you do. And now we're going to click off of that. And the first thing that we're going to do, I'll actually make this a lot bigger for us to be able to see. The first thing that I'm going to do is to come up here and ungroup this. So I want to ungroup our words, because I want to bring the for and the all a little bit more separate and the you do a little bit separate. So I'm going to take this all and then go down here and attach it. And then using my arrow keys, I'm just going to use my arrow keys and kind of push that over until I like that. And then once I like that, I can click both of those and click attach. And then the same thing over here. I'm going to take my do, click it out a couple times, and click attach. And now your U is also separate, so you can take that and attach them separately and then attach them together if you want to do that. And I think it's important to use your arrow keys because you don't want to accidentally go down or up with that and have to align those back. So it's just kind of, it saves some time for us there. And now what I'm going to do is click on a row and use my up arrow key and drag it up to where I want it I want to drag it up to have the space that I want in between our lines, if that makes sense. So this looks good. I actually can come down a bit on him, and that looks really good. I'm going to bring him down a bit, and that looks good. So once you have this the way you want it, and all of your different sections are grouped, which the first word is not actually, so we're going to go up here and attach together thanks. And now once you see that all of your lines are attached, let's see, is that bottom one good and attached? It sure is. You can take it and drag over all of those, go up to align, and hit click align center horizontally. So there you go. That is a great little easy way to do that. Now, last but not least, to go ahead and attach that all together so it's not going to go anywhere for you. And now you can size it to your card base. It's really easy to do so, and since this card is a bit darker of a color, we thought it would be good to make our font white. So we're just going to go up here, just like we changed the color for our square to represent our wood. We're just going to go up to the same material colors panel and change that size around as well. And now you can just go in here, size this up. You can even unlock this and make it a little bit taller if you want it to fit the card a little bit better, or if you like it the way it is. It's totally up to you, and that is what's awesome, is everything is up to you. So again, don't forget here to go ahead and hide the back layer that you don't need. You can hide it or delete it. And now once everything is sized, everything is good to go, everything is laid out as what color it's going to cut, you can go ahead and click make it. However, since we're using scraps today, if we clicked make it, the Cricut would automatically put our welcome and our mama bear together on the same mat, which wouldn't normally be a problem. However, we are using scraps, so we don't have the same piece of vinyl to be able to cut both of those things. So what we're going to do to make sure that the Cricut knows we want to cut these separately is go up here and just change the color of our mama bear. So I just changed it to a dark gray, and all that does is notify me that I need to use my other piece of scrap vinyl, and that notifies Cricut that these will be cut separately as well. So now if you go and click make it, love it, it will alert you up at the top that one of these mats has a larger than 12 by 12 image, and you just click OK because we are well equipped with our 12 by 24 mats here, and you can look at all of your little designs here. So this is our thanks for all you do card. Go on down one and you can see our mama bear that we're going to use our little scrap piece of vinyl for, and then all the way down you can see this beautiful welcome that is going down sideways. That's going to be perfect for our long vinyl scrap. So now you can just go and click continue, and it will connect to your machine. We are doing it via USB, and now you'll select your material, and we're going to select vinyl here, and we're going to give it a little more pressure because our blade is not perfect and new. And now guys, we're going to go on the overhead camera and apply our vinyl to our mat and cut all of these layers out. Alright guys, I'm just going to follow the mats that Cricut has lined up for me in the order. So the first one is my white, which is for my card here. So I'm just going to grab my big long mat here and apply this down just like so. And feel free to get a 12 by 12 mat for these if you don't want to use the 12 by 24, but really using whatever mat you have is totally fine. So we're just going to apply that down, load it into the Cricut, and allow it to cut. And now we're just going to bring our mat over into view for us. And you probably can't see this, but I can see these cut lines on my mat here. It cut it perfectly, if you can see those at all. And because I can see those, I'm going to go in here with my Cricut True Control knife and cut my lines here. I want to be able to save more of this vinyl, so I'm going to cut around my design, peel up the excess, And now what I'm going to do is take my burnishing tool and I'm going to burnish all of this down. If you watched the other video, which you should have if you have not already before watching this one, it's so important to burnish. And now all we're going to do is take our weeder tool and weed this up. Perfect. Now get all of the insides of your vinyl pieces here. Perfect. This is Oracal 651 vinyl, which is glossy. I just noticed that on the back here. Oh, this is StarCraft, my bad. Wow, they're very similar. This is StarCraft adhesive here. Again, great stuff. The StarCraft and the Oracal is almost impossible for me to tell the difference of, which is good because they're both really good brands. So now what you're going to do is take your masking paper transfer tape, and guys, I'm a little obsessive because I like to start with a nice clean line. So someone ripped this the last time they used it, and I'm just going to cut that rip line because I'm crazy. And now I'm going to pull this out and just kind of eyeball how much I might need. So that looks good there. Take my scissors again, cut it, and now I'm going to apply this down right like that. And now you're going to take your burnishing tool again and just burnish that all the way down. And you notice I'm doing this project by project because I love to weed on the mat. And I think it really saves time, so that's why I'm going to do this one, then cut and weed the other one, and then cut and weed the other one, is because I think that it is worth it to take your time and do these steps correctly. So now I'm going to remove the design from the mat here, or rather remove the mat from the design, which is basically the way I'm doing this, like that. Perfect. And you can even go in here and burnish from the back if you want to. And then I'm going to set this aside and then be cutting my next mat, which Cricut says is my little mama bear. So I'm going to take my mat and apply this right here, my piece of scrap vinyl here, and then load this into the machine and allow it to cut. And now we're going to basically do the same thing just over again. So I see my cut lines. I'm going to cut on those cut lines here and remove my excess vinyl so I can use it in another project later on. And now I'm going to burnish this down. Take my weeder tool, weed this up. Get in here on my little letters. Perfect. Flawless, guys. That weeded amazing. And now, just like I did with my other design, I'm just going to take a little piece of masking paper transfer tape here. And this one's going to be quite a bit bigger, or excuse me, the masking paper transfer tape is going to be quite a bit bigger than what I need. So I can go in here and chop off a little piece and then lay that down just like that. Burnish again. Remove it from my mat, just like that. Burnish from the back. Now I'm going to lay this to the side and cut my very last piece. And here you can see, guys, I'll widen out my camera, but this cut beautifully, and I can see the line where it did not cut, or where we have some extra. And I'm just going to peel these pieces off. You can see it peeled off a little bit of my backing there. This mat is super sticky. And now I'm going to turn it this way, and I can see the top of my L right here. That is probably the highest point of this cut file. And now I'm just going to take my True Control knife and cut along that line. I want to make sure I'm removing a lot of the things that I don't need to weed. Now, while we probably shouldn't keep this as scrap, I just also didn't want it on the project to cause any problems or to make it harder to weed or anything like that. So now I'm going to burnish. You can never over burnish either, guys. Impossible. Now I'm going to take my Cricut weeder tool and weed this out, just like so. Good quality vinyl makes all the difference, guys, just saying, when you are wanting it to cut and weed this easily. It really makes all of the difference to have a good brand of vinyl. There we go. It was as easy as that. And now we're going to take our masking paper transfer tape, measure it out, cut it out. So that looks good. Now I'm out of frame here, but I'm cutting it, guys. And don't worry that it's a lot wider than our project is here. That's okay. That's all right. We're just going to take it and lay it right down just like that, and then start in the middle here and burnish your way out. It's easier to do it like that, especially when you have such a large piece. It really makes it less likely for you guys to have bubbles and things like that. So just burnish you know, where your design is. Don't burnish around the mat here. And now we're just going to peel it up from the mat, just like so. And now is when we'll remove this excess of our transfer tape. So we're going to go in here, just cut all this extra off. Just like so. Now, you can do away with that. And now you have welcome, Mama Bear, and thanks for all you do. And guys, while I was placing this and cutting off the excess, I noticed the middle of the A where I did not weed, which you guys probably caught when I was weeding a few minutes ago. So I will show you how to get that off very quickly and easily as well. So I guess since I do want to demonstrate that, we'll go ahead and start with our card here. So here's our card, and the first thing you want to do is pay attention to which way you want it to open. So I want to open my card like this, the normal way. So this is the side I want to put my design on. So I'm going to bring the camera in so we can see more detail of what's going on. And now I'm going to take my burnishing tool and burnish on the back here. And guys, this burnishing tool is from 651 vinyl as well. It is a little bit bendy, which means it's much easier to burnish and to apply vinyl down and things like that than a hard Cricut scraper tool, because those sometimes can get jagged and actually scratch your vinyl, whereas these are a little bit rubbery and more malleable. They won't do that. So now I'm going to take a corner of my transfer paper here, and I'm just going to peel up. Now I hope you guys can see this. See how well that's peeling up? That is why you need to burnish all that you can as well. Now there's the middle of that A that I did not weed before. So I'm going to grab my handy dandy pin tool and just barely pull on that, and then there it comes, just easy peasy. So now I'm going to remove that, and now you can bring your card in here, center it up, and make sure you like where this is gonna go. You can kind of look and see if it's too much in the center or too far down, or whatever you would like to do, and lay it down, and you can pick it up and see it. And if you like it, go ahead with your burnishing tool and burnish that. Now we're burnishing lightly. We're not pressing too hard in. We're just kind of burnishing lightly with that tool there. And now once that is burnished, you're going to take a corner here and be very, very gentle and go very, very slow. It will be a lot easier if your letters are actually wanting to come up with you than if they are staying down and your transfer paper is, you know, damaging your paper on your card. So just, you know, burnish with your hands and burnish very gently and delicately, and that is going to be a good way to make sure that your paper stays really well intact and doesn't have anything happen to it. It doesn't need, we don't need to be ripping paper off today. That would be super bad. So it seems to work really well for burnishing with your fingers on this. So just row by row, just burnish with your fingers. Make sure you're peeling straight down with your transfer tape and all that good stuff. And looky there, look at this gorgeous card. So again, this isn't coming off. It's not gonna go anywhere. It's on your card. It looks so good and it's really, really cute. So this is just a super easy way that you can add vinyl to paper. Any kind of paper, you can do this with whatever you want on really heavy cardstock or light cardstock like this. This is, like I said, probably 60-pound cardstock, and it looks really good. So we love the way this turns out. It just adds another dimension to a card, and it's really, really neat. We love this. You could always cut this out of paper and attach them down one by one, letter by letter with some, you know, adhesive or something like that. But to be able to add vinyl to a card, it's really neat. So that's what we did for that one. That's what we love to do. And now we're gonna move on to our mug. Now for our mug, of course, you're gonna need your mug, and you're gonna need your decal, your burnishing tool, and you're also going to need your alcohol and paper towels. Now the first thing I want you to think about is which direction you want to drink from your mug. So I'm a righty, so I'm right-handed, and I want to drink from my mug this way, so I want my decal to be this way. So I'll flip my mug over and know that I want my decal right here. So I'm going to take a paper towel, fold it up a couple of times, use our handy-dandy alcohol pump here, and clean our mug where we're wanting our decal to go. Now the importance of this, guys, I urge you, plead with you not to skip this step. It will remove dirt and debris from the mug, oil from your fingertips, and anything that could inhibit that vinyl from sticking very well. Because really, guys, vinyl loves to stick to slick surfaces like a mug, but it can be very tricky to do when your mug is dirty or greasy or anything like that. One tip that I also have is to take a small paint bottle and put it under your handle. It's about the perfect size to make sure that your mug is not kind of falling down on your table, and then it's kind of harder to center that up. When you have a little paint bottle there, it really keeps it perfectly straight and helps you know where the center is at. So now over here on the side, you can see us, we're just going to burnish this on the back, and then same thing like we did on the other project. We're just going to peel this up. You can see our mama bears want to come up with us this time, but that's okay. Just going to continue to burnish down and pull that backing straight off. And now once you have your mama bear, you can center this up for you. I prefer to be directly over the project like this, so excuse me if my head does get in the shot here, but I want to place this right down, and you can pick it up, make sure you like it, and if you do, go ahead and just burnish down from the center out. I like to use my fingers with this because it is a curved surface. It's a little bit easier to do that with. And guys, look how easy this was to do. Like, so simple to apply this down. And I promise, guys, with how you guys were able to use that rubbing alcohol, it's going to stay there, and oh, it's going to look fabulous. So we're just going to take a corner and peel this right off, and look how well that adhered to that mug, guys. This looks gorgeous. Now I do want to also say, if you guys are wanting to know how you can seal your mugs, I do have a video all about sealing mugs. I will link it down below so you guys can watch that video and check that out and see how you guys can seal your mugs if you would like to, because while some vinyls are sold as permanent adhesive, it's actually, there's really no such thing as a permanent vinyl in the crafting industry, that is. So all the vinyls that we use, they can be removed even if they are marketed as permanent. So like this is not dishwasher safe as is. This shouldn't be sat in your sink with water running over it for a while. This needs to be quickly hand washed and dried if you're not going to seal it. But if you want to seal it, you can check out that video down below. But that's so cute. I love that mug. And now last but not least, we're gonna apply that beautiful welcome onto our pretty sign here. Let me make sure that you guys can see what's going on, and I'm gonna lay that up above. And you can use alcohol to clean this if you want to. I'm just gonna use the excess alcohol that's on my paper towel from the mug that we just cleaned, and really the same thing. All we're trying to do is get the dust and debris off of this. Do be picky with what kind of wood you use with vinyl projects, because vinyl does not love to stick to textured surfaces of any kind, but this wood is very smooth, very slick. I sanded it before I stained it, so it should stay very well. This vinyl should go on really well. But again, if you are wanting to use this as an outdoor sign or something like that, do seal it. We do have a how to seal an outdoor vinyl sign video too. We have sealer signs on everything. So if you wanted to make one of these and see how to seal it, that video will tell you how. So we're just removing this backing here. And I love this welcome. This cut file is gorgeous. And now we're gonna bring our wood into frame a little bit more and lay this out. And you guys can want to have it to the bottom of the sign or to the middle of the sign, really just whatever you want to do. And you can, you know, again, make sure that it's in the center. I like to get up above my project. Sometimes I'll even lay my projects on the ground to make sure that they're good and centered and all that. And sometimes a great tip you can have is you can actually mush your fingers on vinyl that's not, or excuse me, on the transfer tape that doesn't have vinyl on it, and then pick it up and see if you like your sign. And I think that looks beautiful actually. So instead of repositioning, I'm just going to start in the middle and burnish on out. Don't overthink your you know, that part too much, guys. Don't overthink where you're going to place it, or if it's perfectly, if there's like a 1/4 of an inch there and a 1/4 of an inch there, don't overthink things like that, because in the grand scheme of things, if to the naked eye, to you, if you're not looking at it, it looks really, really pretty, then it's going to look pretty to other people who look at it as well. So now we're going to take a corner and peel this up. Make sure you're pulling that transfer tape super tight, just like that. And voila, guys, look how beautiful this sign is. So pretty, it went on great. So we have vinyl on wood, vinyl on our cute little mug here, and vinyl on a card. This is 3 different surfaces you can apply vinyl onto very easily. This is perfect for beginners because a lot of beginners might be a little bit skeptical on what you can apply vinyl to, and really, guys, there is a vast array of different types of, you know, products and blanks that you can apply vinyl to, and we don't want you guys to be scared of any of them. Wasn't that so easy, guys? I love the way that all of these projects turned out. I think they're super cute and they were really simple to create. I hope that you all learned a lot from this video. And if you're a Cricut beginner, don't forget to subscribe below and check out the very first link in the description to see how you can get all of the inspiration and education to be able to use your die cutting machine to the best of your ability. In that yearly membership, we offer so many good things in there, like the cut files and the fonts and printable guides and members only Facebook groups, but there's also 3 free e-courses teaching you guys how to master your machine and how to master Design Space, which is incredible for beginners. There's also an e-course all about building a business through die cutting that you all get free as your members, and that also pairs great with our free commercial license we give you all, meaning that yearly members can sell any project they make using our cut files and fonts for their own profit, which is really an amazing bonus. So don't forget to be a yearly member down below. Go ahead and get your membership. You will absolutely love it. I hope that you enjoyed this video, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.